Have you ever wondered what a personified version of your zodiac sign would look like? Well, look no further. Today I'll be turning some into characters. Ahoy there group, this is your captain speaking, and in this video I'll be designing characters based on 4 zodiac signs. This is the second video of a 3-part series, since I just can't possibly draw all 12 in a single video, but without further ado, let's set sail. The first zodiac sign I'll be turning into a character is Leo, the lion. People with this sign are born between the 23rd of July and the 22nd of August. Leo is, of course, a fire sign. Leo is a very dramatic and humorous person, but can get pretty stubborn and full of himself. His dramatics are a good excuse to turn him into an actor, so I just had to put him in a classic Hamlet to be or not to be pose. I even hid his one eye in shadows to add to the drama. He has some nice poofy hair and a tail as reference to his associated animal. I figured giving him hair that poofs out around his collar would be a good nod at a lion's mane. Looking at it now, his tail might be a little oddly placed. It runs a little too perfectly behind the end of his sleeve, but oh well. The colors associated with Leo are gold, yellow, and orange. Some nice tones to work with, but I'll definitely need some extra colors to fill out the palette. The gold does a pretty good job of brightening him up, since I stuck to light yellow and darker browns for the rest of his design. I decided to bring in a tiny bit of green to use in his eyes. It brings more attention to his face in a pretty appealing way. Here is our fierce actor. He looks pretty calm, cool, and collected. Next, we're drawing Virgo, the maiden. People with this sign are born between the 23rd of August and the 22nd of September. Virgo's element is earth. She is highly analytical and hardworking, but can be shy and maybe a little too serious. Looking up Virgo's characteristics kind of makes me think of Toko Fukawa from Danganronpa for some reason. So her design is very much inspired by her. Of course, because of these traits, she had to look a little more studious and modest, so I opted for a sweater and a long skirt. She's even wearing tights underneath the skirt. I tried my best to keep her pose a little stiff. I figured putting her hand on her arm would be a good choice to reveal a bit more about her. The colors associated with Virgo are grey, beige, and pale yellow. A pretty reserved color palette, but we can make this work. Instead of using pure grey, I opted for more blue-grey. This way, I wouldn't have to remove all the color from certain parts of her design. This allowed me to bring in a bright blue without drawing too much attention. That's why I made her eyes such a pretty blue. Here is our awkward girl. She's looking pretty cute. Now we have Libra, the scales. People with this sign are born between the 23rd of September and the 23rd of October. Libra is an air sign. He is very social and understanding, but can be indecisive and pity himself a lot. At first, I thought having a job in law would suit him, since this sign is all about balance and justice. But he dislikes conflict, so that's a no-go. In the end, he became a tired office worker. He hates his job, but only goes as far as to daydream of his circumstances changing. To get this idea across, I made him stare off to the side, but of course he's wearing a suit and carrying his little briefcase, which was hard to draw. I had a hard time figuring out the angle I had to draw it in for some reason, but I think I managed. The colors associated with Libra are pink and green, the same colors that Taurus has. I still wanted him to look a little different though, so I went for a very different green and pink. It may have been my downfall though. I'm not sure how to feel about the pink and green I ended up choosing. It's very eye-catching, but it looks a little off. Here he is though. I like him, but the colors do still look a little weird. Just popping in to remind you to like the video, which I assume you do if you made it this far, and subscribe to join our little pirate crew. Last but not least, we have Scorpio, the scorpion. People with this sign are born between the 24th of October and the 21st of November. Scorpio is a water sign. Scorpio is resourceful and passionate, but can be distrusting and manipulative. I saw mention of psychic abilities, so I figured she has to be into the occult. I drew her in a pretty simple pose, but there were a few things she needed to show off: her cards and her jewelry. I think hiding part of her face and having her look away from the camera is a good way to show off her nature. Other than that, I tried to make her look a little more eccentric by giving her clothing items with different patterns. They match, but still sort of don't. I also just want to point out that I tried making the braids wrapping around her buns look like scorpion tails. The colors associated with Scorpio are scarlet, red, and rust. Those are technically very close in color, but I can make it work. I stick to red and orange for main colors, but even the black and white I used are technically just very dark and light red. The only other color I used was the purple for the cards. Purple makes them look a little more mystical. But here she is. I absolutely adore her hair. Here are all the star signs I've designed so far. We only have one more part to go, which I plan to post 2 weeks from now, so stay tuned. But that's all for today, crew. I hope to see you again for our next voyage. Bye bye!